Hello, I am Dr. Dave. How can I help you?
I am a lead trumpet player. I have a problem that I hope you can help me with.
Oh, a lead trumpet player. Lead trumpet players are revered as gods and worshipped by trumpet players all over the world.
Yes. However, I have a problem. I keep passing out when I play high notes.
That sounds serious. Tell me, why do you play high notes?
I am a lead trumpet player. We play very high and very loud. It is what we do, especially at the International Trumpet Guild Conference when we are testing trumpets and mouthpieces.
Okay, tell me what happened the last time you passed out from playing high notes.
Well, I flew across the country and went out to have a few beers with other trumpet players the night before the gig.
Why did you do that?
I am a lead trumpet player.
I see. Tell me more.
The next day I woke up around noon and remembered that I forgot my high blood pressure medicine the night before, so I took my regular dose, plus an extra one.
That seems like a smart thing to do.
I had jet lag and very little sleep. I was feeling dehydrated, so I had a couple of beers to top up my fluids before the rehearsal. I was subbing in as lead trumpet with the symphony orchestra who was doing a Broadway review show.
Oh, I am very sorry you had to do that gig.
Thank you. It was very painful. Anyway, I was worried that I might not have the chops for my big solo, so I got sort of worked up, and I think I was freaking out a little.
That seems understandable.
So when it came time for my solo, I stood up, took a big breath, and played a long, loud, screaming passage and held the last note for as long as I could without taking any more breaths.
Because you are a lead trumpet player.
Yes. At the end of the solo I passed out, but only for a few seconds. However, I fell forward and landed on the oboe player, who was knocked out cold and could not continue to play the concert.
Oh my. What happened next?
Well, the conductor was very worried about the oboe player who was lying there unconscious, so he called 911. He told the dispatcher what happened and asked her what he should do.
What did the dispatcher say?
She said, "Substitute a muted trumpet."
That was very good advice.
I thought so too. So, Dr. Dave, why am I passing out from high notes? Is it stale air in my lungs?
No, it is not stale air. Generating the airflow required to play in the upper register generally requires high intrathoracic pressure, or pressure inside the chest. This high pressure has several effects. Return of blood from other parts of the body into the chest and heart is slowed down, so less blood gets back to the heart.
That sounds complicated.
There is more. Too little blood getting back to the heart means it has less blood to pump, so the brain does not get enough blood.
Oh. So do I have to use my brain for lead trumpet playing?
Yes. Sometimes. As I was saying, too little blood getting to the brain can make you feel lightheaded, or pass out. The medical term for passing out is syncope. That more or less sums up what is usually going on when you pass out from playing high notes.
Dr. Dave, you are melting my brain. What was the middle part again? Actually, never mind, but please tell me, why is this happening to me right now?
Several factors make it more likely to pass out. Dehydration from heat, not drinking enough.
Not drinking enough is not usually a problem with lead trumpet players.
I mean drinking water. Being dehydrated from a hangover can be a problem. Alcohol is actually a diuretic, causing production of extra urine. Alcohol also has a direct effect of opening up blood vessels, causing even less blood to get back to the heart.
So drinking beer before and during a gig could make it worse?
Yes.
Bummer. What else?
Standing up suddenly can cause a brief drop in blood pressure until our body adapts to being upright. Alcohol, some drugs, especially blood pressure medication, some medical conditions like diabetes, heat, fatigue, jet lag, and sleep deprivation can all make this worse.
So alcohol, sleep deprivation, jet lag, and fatigue can make you pass out? Not good news for a lead trumpet player.
There is more. Changes in breathing can add to these problems. When you hyperventilate, or overbreathe when you freak out, the amount of carbon dioxide in your blood goes down. This makes the blood vessels in your brain clamp down, so less blood gets to it.
Why do I not pass out every time I play a high note then? It only happens sometimes.
All of these problems begin to take effect after about 5 to 10 seconds of sustained high playing. In fact, the effect of playing a high note for only a second or two is a brief increase in blood pressure. That is why passing out is usually associated with sustained high passages.
Okay, Dr. Dave, so what can I do to prevent this from happening again?
Keep well hydrated. Beer does not qualify as a way to replace fluids. If you have a solo coming up, try to stand up for a few seconds before you play. Play as efficiently and relaxed as possible with a closed aperture and open throat.
Play relaxed, you say? I have heard that before. Do you think I should take up yoga?
Well, some people would recommend that. However, I would suggest taking more breaths during high passages without overfilling your lungs. That reduces the sustained pressure in your chest and will allow more blood to get back to your heart and out to your brain.
So I should breathe?
Yes. Breathing is very good for you. The split second it takes for a breath can improve your cardiac output. Just make sure you do not overfill your lungs with too big a breath or hyperventilate.
Is there anything else I can do?
Yes, I would recommend trying a wedge mouthpiece.
A wedge mouthpiece? I have heard of those. Isn't that the mouthpiece that gives you instant super high range and incredible superhuman endurance that will elevate me instantly to the level of legends like Wayne Bergeron and Maynard Ferguson with no more need to practice or even stay in shape?
No, but it is a very efficient mouthpiece that for about 90% of players will produce a more even response in all registers, and make the upper register easier. It will often add several notes to your usable range if you are a wedge responder, without compromising the lower register. But it is not just for lead. The wedge rim in various sizes with the right cup works equally well for classical playing.
Okay, but I have heard that this has an unusual shape and feels funny at first. I have heard that I should not try it because it could ruin my chops forever if I do.
Really?
Yes.
Let's examine that notion for a minute. Have you ever tried on a pair of running shoes that were just a little different than your usual and did not fit you quite right?
Yes.
Were you crippled for life?
No.
Then I would not worry about it. The human body is far more adaptive and resilient than that. There is no chance that trying a new type of mouthpiece can ruin your chops. In fact, the shape of the wedge rim encourages you to use less pressure than a normal mouthpiece, and pressure is the cause of many injuries in brass players. As for feeling different, the wedge feels normal and an old-fashioned mouthpiece feels restricting after a very short time.
But I have heard some people say it is a cheater mouthpiece.
A cheater mouthpiece. Okay, let's say two baseball players are in competition for a place on a team. One is trying out using an old-fashioned wooden bat designed in 1940, and the other is using a state-of-the-art aluminum bat. Is the player using the more advanced equipment that makes his job easier cheating?
No. He is using his brain.
Exactly.
This is very interesting. Where can I get a wedge mouthpiece?
You can order one online from the Wedge website. Just Google wedge mouthpiece. They have all sizes and styles of mouthpieces for any type of brass playing.
I will do that. Thanks.
You are welcome. How did the oboe player do?
He was fine. I played all of his parts for the rest of the concert and he made faces at me and rolled his eyes and said I was horribly sharp on most of the passages.
So he made a full recovery and was completely back to normal.
Yes. Absolutely.